Mintu, a resident of Madhyachar, starts his day early. In Bangladesh, a land of 6 seasons, change is a relentless force. The mighty Padma River reflects this change, its currents shifting with every passing season, mirroring the ebb and flow of Mintu's life. As the seasons change, the river swells and retracts, shaping the lives of those who live on its banks. It's the monsoon season now, Bhadro, the Bengali month of rain. The sky is a canvas littered with drifting clouds, pregnant with rain. But today, the wind has decided to spare Madhyachar for now. Madhyachar, a watery labyrinth during the monsoon, shows a deep bond between its people and the river. Fishing, a legacy passed down through generations, has become the lifeblood of this community. Mintu's day begins with the sounds and sights of fish being hauled in from the previous day's dohar, a traditional fishing setup. It's a familiar scene, one that has been part of his everyday life for years. Today, he's not alone on this aquatic adventure. His son, Suraj, is by his side, eager to learn the secrets of the river. Armed with a few biscuits and a bottle of water, they set off in their motorboat. The river like a highway to them, a path they've travelled countless times together. The journey is a 15-minute respite from the task at hand. But the river, ever unpredictable, has other plans. The water level has dropped, forcing them to abandon their motorboat and continue on foot, dragging their boat along. Mintu and Suraj wade through the knee-deep water until they can safely travel on the boat once more. They finally reach their destination, a stretch of the river where Mintu has set up his dohar, a long fishing net with a trap on one side, similar to a funnel, and an opening at the end to collect fish. Today, there are 19 dohar. There used to be 20, he says, a hint of sadness in his voice, but one was stolen recently. These nets are scattered across different spots, each one a silent sentinel guarding the river's bounty. Mintu and Suraj meticulously check each dohar, eager to see their haul of fish. The catch varies from tiny silver-scaled minnows to larger, more elusive fish. Today, luck is on their side. The nets are overflowing. As they work, news reaches them of a herd of cows that will soon be passing by. Mintu, ever vigilant, quickly gathers some of the nets, protecting them from the trampling hooves. He plans to reset them later in the afternoon, hoping for a repeat of today's good fortune. With their haul secured, Mintu and Suraj return to their boat, satisfied with the day's catch. As they cross the wide Padma River once more, surrounded by clouds and a gentle breeze, it's a tranquil scene, a time to reflect on the day's events and the beauty of their surroundings. They dock at the small wharf, Mintu carrying the fish on his head, a symbol of their hard work and success. In the distance, their tidy little village comes into view. The rest of the way must be covered on foot, a final leg of their familiar adventure. As they enter the house, Mintu's 2-year-old daughter, Hira, rushes to greet him, her tiny hands outstretched. He tells his wife about the big catch. She's overjoyed. Soon, the house is filled with the sounds of laughter. As Mintu's wife and his eldest son's wife join in the task of cleaning the fish. Chickens and kittens roam around, adding a touch of chaos to their busy fishing day. For many of us watching, this way of life might seem unfamiliar. The people of Char live a life far different from ours, facing constant struggles just to survive. Basic needs that many of us take for granted are often missing here. There are no modern amenities, and life is full of hardship. But in the midst of all this adversity, a sense of community and strength shines through. The people of Madhyachar, bound together by their love for the river and their shared experiences, have found a way to make life work, one day at a time. Rajshahi, just across the river, is one of the cleanest and safest cities in the world. A bustling metropolis bathed in the glow of bright lights. But on the other side of the Padma, life in the Chars couldn't be more different. It is remote, challenging, and far removed from the comforts of city life. Today, we'll spend the day with the resilient people of this Char, who have grown up along the Padma's edge. We'll hear their stories, learn about their struggles, and discover how they find joy in a world that often seems devoid of it. Welcome to Madhyachar. Bangladesh, a land woven with rivers, is a natural monument to the raw power of water and how it shapes the earth. Countless waterways wind through the country like a giant net, deeply connected to the land and its people. The Padma River, one of these mighty arteries, is the second largest in Bangladesh. Renowned for its vast width and the strength of the waters that flow within it, the Padma has played a pivotal role in sculpting the Bengal Delta, the largest river delta in the world. This fertile land was formed over 13,000 years through the accumulation of river sediments from the Ganges basin. The Padma River, snaking through Bangladesh, originates from the Gangotri Glacier in the Himalayas, flowing through West Bengal before entering northern Bangladesh. It travels 258 kilometres to Goalondo, where it meets the Yamuna River, then flows another 120 kilometres before merging with the Meghna River and finally emptying into the Bay of Bengal. The river twists and turns, its flow augmented by major tributaries like the Mahananda, Punabhava and Tangan. Originally a branch of the Indian River Ganges, the Padma River is a major waterway in Bangladesh. The river's depth fluctuates between 100 feet in winter and nearly double that during the monsoon. The water flow also changes dramatically, from 15,000 cusecs in the dry season to 750,000 cusecs during the monsoon. Heavy rains often cause the river to overflow, flooding farmlands and homes along its banks. In the past 55 years, the Padma has swallowed about 66,000 hectares of land. Such is its raw natural power. Still, the Padma River isn't just a destructive force, it is also a giver of life, nurturing the chars, small temporary islands that form along its bends. These chars, ranging from 0.35 to 6 kilometres in size, provide both land and livelihood, despite their constant shifting with the whims of the river they sit beside. Madhyachar is a small char that is part of the Char Khidirpur, located along the Indian border, just across from the city of Rajshahi. This char was once home to approximately 12,000 people. However, the relentless erosion of the Padma River has taken a heavy toll, reducing Char Khidirpur to a mere 200 metres. Madhyachar, situated to the west, now provides shelter to around 90 resilient families. Life in Madhyachar is a constant struggle against the river's relentless erosion, forcing many residents to build their homes repeatedly. The houses are simple structures, often made of thatched walls and roofs, with some using tin sheets for added protection. Most homes have 3 to 4 rooms, often with a small yard in front. While some homes have boundary walls, many are open. Each house usually has a designated space for livestock and a stack of hay for feed, collected from rice plants grown during the dry season. Tube wells are a common sight in every household, providing essential water for drinking, cooking, bathing and washing. Step outside the house and you'll be greeted by vast open pastures. In the early morning, these fields come alive with cattle grazing on the abundant fodder, a familiar sight in every Char household. Throughout the year, these lands are used for various crops. During the monsoon, crops like legumes flourish, covering acres of land with lush green blankets. Some fields are being prepared for planting, while others are already teeming with life. In the dry season, crops like rice, wheat and lentils will take over, ensuring a steady supply of food for the community. Cattle and sheep are the most common livestock here, along with ducks and chickens. Each herd typically consists of around 60 to 70 cows. Beyond daily milk sales, male cows are often sold at Eid al-Adha, and livestock can be a lifeline in times of need. However, the rainy season brings its own set of challenges. Fields are flooded, leaving only hay from the previous season to feed the animals. Yet the floodwaters also bring a silver lining. The rising waters bring with them a bounty of fish, a major source of livelihood for the people here, alongside farming and cattle rearing. Fishing goes on throughout the day using various methods, mostly targeting small native fish. The Padma River, a treasure trove of natural beauty and aquatic life, provides an important source of food and income. The fish from here are renowned nationwide, but the river's navigability has been in decline over recent years. There are doubts about the future of the fish population and the families that rely on fishing to get by. After Mintu's morning fishing, his day is filled with a variety of tasks. Once back home, he organises the fish and sits down for breakfast with his daughter. Today's meal is a simple yet satisfying affair: rice, lentils and fried potatoes, common staples for the Char people, sometimes accompanied by fish or meat. After breakfast, Mintu heads to his field. In addition to fishing, he also raises cattle, but today the focus is on ploughing his land for legume growing. His field is about 8 kilometres from his home, a distance usually covered on foot. But today, he manages to hitch a ride on a tractor along the bumpy path. The journey is far from smooth, with constant jolts. But the conversation and sights along the way make it interesting. The tractor passes through several small villages, each marked by the tracks of its large wheels. This path, often just a trail across fields, reveals lush green fodder and open spaces, where the emptiness is occasionally broken by distant villages. At first, the villages appear deserted, but closer inspection reveals the presence of life. Children running joyfully, their laughter echoing through the quiet countryside. Mintu's field sits right on the banks of the Padma River, a majestic waterway that winds its way through the landscape. The work is slow, but the surroundings are alive with the sights of birds hunting and the sound of water. These boats are essential to life here, serving as the main mode of transport for Char residents and providing an income source for many families who ferry people and goods across the river. While Mintu is at the field, his wife is busy preparing lunch at home. The fresh fish caught in the morning will be the main dish today, a treat given the bountiful catch. She works in the small kitchen while the children play nearby. Sadly, most of these children miss out on education due to the challenges of life in the Shah. Education in these remote areas is almost non-existent. There is only one primary school serving the entire Shah and is in awful condition. The school has just 4 teachers, and those teachers are often absent from lessons. The school also remains closed during heavy rains. Though there are 77 students registered, only 10 to 15 children attend on any given day. After primary school, there are no options for secondary or higher education. Due to the isolation of the Chars and the cost of education, most families cannot afford to send their children to schools in the city. This impacts the Shah people, and there is little hope for younger generations to break the cycle. With his field work finished, Mintu sets back out for home. This time, there's no ride, so he has to cover the 8-kilometre distance on foot. There's no proper road, just a path through the cultivated fields. It's a grueling walk, but one that Mintu knows like the back of his hand. One of the biggest challenges for the people of the Shah is the lack of proper transportation and communication. The paths out of the villages are treacherous. This is due to either the strong currents of the Padma during the monsoon season or the dry and dusty sand tracks during the dry season that are tricky to walk on. It's hard for residents to stay connected with the next village, let alone the rest of the country. The vast, empty landscape of the Padma's sandbars is almost like a desert at times. With dust swirling all around, Mintu must walk miles through this emptiness. But he is not alone and runs into friends along the way. The lack of an effective transport system affects almost every part of life in the Shah, from farming to trading. Everything is more difficult than it would be in the city. As Mintu walks, he chats with his friends about current events and the trials of life. Finally, the familiar sight of his village comes into view. Mintu's long, dusty trek is coming to an end for today. After lunch, Mintu opens up about the hardships of Shah life, sharing his regrets and struggles. He talks about the lack of education opportunities. Mintu also shares concerns about the lack of medical care in the Shah. The broken roads and lack of facilities make access to healthcare impossible for most. With no hospitals in the area, a sudden illness means a desperate rush to the city hospital, if travel is an option. Mintu's father shared even more about their struggles. Recently, their cows have been struck by a new illness, high fevers and swelling in the legs, leaving many unable to walk. Cows are dying across the pasture and there's no one to help. We've been neglected for years, he says. The afternoon slowly fades into the evening as he speaks. It's time for Mintu to set the doha back in the water. Along the way, farmers can be seen burning crop waste in the fields, the crackling fire turning everything to ash. He heads to the fishing spots by boat. As Mintu reaches his spot, he drops the doha into the river and the evening quietly settles in. Another day in Mintu's life draws to a close. Another day of the endless struggle of life on the Shah. This is how life is for these brave and strong people, caught between what's given and what's missing. It's easy to think that the people of the Shah face a lot of hardship. And while they do have challenges, it's not the whole story. Despite the difficulties of their day-to-day lives, most of the residents don't have many regrets or show much envy for those living in the city. In fact, most of these people are content and happy with their peaceful life on the Shah. Even with limited resources, they find peace and tranquility in a way that city dwellers simply cannot.